Welcome to the NVUSD Future in Focus podcast.
Talk to us a little bit about how AVID was supporting you and working through these challenges.
AVID really helped me kind of like narrow down kind of what I liked.
You used AVID as the space to really...
That sounded like your feedback for first generation college students is to be vulnerable, lean into that difficulty.
The biggest piece of advice that I can give is truly...
I am so thrilled about this episode because today we're incredibly excited to shine a spotlight on some truly inspiring individuals, our first generation college students from the AVID program. Now, AVID stands for Advancement via Individualized Determination and is a program that sets up our first generation students for success. These are students who are the first in their families to attend a four-year university, forging new paths for themselves and for generations to come. I'm Dr. Rossana Musetti, Superintendent of the Napa Valley Unified School District.
And I'm Dr. Peter Aboud, Executive Director of Research, Data, and Assessment. In this series, we amplify student and staff voices, strengthen community connections, and spotlight strong teaching and learning across all of our schools, all through the lens of being and becoming future ready.
We're especially thrilled to welcome Laura Ortiz Ortiz, a Vintage High School graduate and current student at UC Davis, to share her journey with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be here.
And Laura, we are so eager to share your powerful voice and hear your story. Today, we're going to delve into your personal journey to higher education, the unique strengths you bring to college life, and the crucial role that mentors and supportive communities have played in your life in lifting you up to get you to where you are today.
Before we get deep into that story, just some basics, Laura. Now, you were born and raised in Napa, correct? We were chatting earlier and you told me a little bit about your path. Born and raised in Napa?
Yes, I was, so my journey with the NVUSD, it started with my elementary school. I went to Pueblo Vista, and then I went to Redwood, and then finished up at Vintage.
Class of 2023?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Well, most importantly, what we're excited about today, Laura, is that we're going to hear your number one piece of advice for achieving dreams, right? We want all our students to achieve dreams. Advice that transcends the college application process and speaks to perseverance and success in all aspects of life.
And Laura, when we talk about first generation students, we're often talking about students with really incredible resilience and determination. Can you share a little bit about your journey through NVUSD and what led you to where you are today?
Yeah. So I think, well, obviously like elementary school is like, I think for me was what really got kind of like rolling for me. I went to Pueblo Vista, and at Pueblo Vista, they do have like this kind of like environmental science sort of, right. Like they really do include it in like our classes and everything. And I think for me, that really kind of gave me some awareness of like going into STEM and everything. And I think for me at first, I wasn't really that convinced that I'd end up where I am now, just because I was like, I don't know, like I didn't even know that career existed, to be fair. And then it really did end up starting up in middle school for some of my career like interests. I really was into architecture and interior design. Just because I just kind of grew up watching like a lot of renovation shows, and one of my perspective classes, art class in perspective, it really heightened that for me. So I was really like, up until 8th grade, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to go into probably architecture or interior design or something of that matter. So then it was actually until 8th grade when I took one of my science classes that I was like, oh, I low-key do like STEM. Like, I really do like this.
You like that science class.
Yeah. I think for me, one of the most memorable moments was we had to make like a bridge out of popsicle sticks, and then we would be testing, how much weight it could hold. And I'm really competitive, so I really took that to heart.
Me too. and Dr. Musetti.
Yeah, so I was like...
You're at the right table.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was kind of like, I'm going to try my best here. And I really was very passionate about that project. Like, I remember with my classmate, I'd be like, no, we have to do it this way. Like, triangles, we have to go with triangles. And I think that was when I first started kind of really liking STEM. But I was more like, oh, but I like it more as a design aspect. Like, I really like the design aspect of it. And then I was yeah, and then Avid really helped me kind of like narrow down kind of what I liked, which I really do appreciate because I was, as a kid, like you're all over the place, like you want to do this, you want to do that. Like you always switch your mind. And I think for me, it became more solid with what I wanted to do in high school. Just because, my freshman year, I took a biology class, an agricultural biology class, which is actually part of the CTA program.
Yes.
And I really liked it because, I guess really obviously, like I got to see animals. Like I got to see like bunnies, chickens, cows. Like I wanted to see them. Like I feel like that was like one of like the kind of like enhancements of that project. And I think for me, I really like biology. Like it was kind of like a mix. Like I did so well and I was like, I really liked it. So I was like, like I like biology. Like I can do this. And then I think another turning point for me was having taken chemistry. Chemistry for me, it was for me, it was over Zoom because COVID. So I think for me, chemistry, it was like a lot of like virtual experiments, kind of like simulations and stuff. So there was really no concreteness to like me understanding like, I guess, reactions and stuff. But even then the simulations, I was so fascinated because I was like, you can predict all this, or like it's just so small. Like it's like chemistry to me was more complex than biology. So I was very fascinated. I was like, I think even now, like kind of like looking back, I was just like, like that. I don't even know how I got through half those classes.
So
yeah, so because I was equally fascinated and scared because I was like, these are interesting, but they're just so complex. Like to me, they were complex. And I think I really do credit my junior year to actually having led to where I am now. I ended up taking AP Physics, which, it was a decision.
that's a big one.
Yeah. And I think for me, I mostly took it because I was scared of taking AP Chemistry and AP Biology because I've heard that they were like some of the hardest classes. I was like, I know my limits. I don't think I want to take those right now. So I ended up taking AP Physics because I thought that was the easier class. It was not the easier class. It was not the easiest class. Before that, kind of just a little context, I was like doing pretty good. I was getting like A's and B's. So I think for me, it was like, I was kind of like, I'm gonna get an A in this class. Like I can do this. So imagine my surprise when I get my first like unit test back and I get an F.
This was your physics class.
Yeah. So I was devastated, obviously. I was just like, I didn't think I would ever get an F, just ever. And I was really discouraged. I was like, I was obviously kind of like, also like my pride was a little hurt because I was just like, I really can't do everything in a way. So I think that was kind of like one of my first tests of if I can persevere or not. And I think it really then taught me like, because obviously I wanted to get out of the class with an A. So I was like,
of course.
so I was like, I'm gonna put in more effort. And I think it was kind of still either way devastating. When I did not end up getting an A that first semester, I got C. And that was really devastating for me because I was like, kind of, what am I doing here, But it also really taught me like, it really just highlighted to me my relationship with my academics. Just because I think for me before, because I was getting so many like A's and B's, it really didn't teach me so much as to like worth ethic and stuff like that. Like I was kind of just used to just getting the grades.
Doing well.
Yeah. So it was kind of like, I think I was so used to just blaming everything but myself. Like it was just, I don't, like it's obviously not me. Like I'm not the problem. Like the class is a problem. And I think that class really taught me like, you have to like you're going to obviously like encounter these things and it's what you make out of them. And I think also being first gen, it was just like, maybe I shouldn't do STEM. Like I think because if I can't do this, can I do that? And I want to secure a good future for myself and, kind of like set the example for like my siblings and everything. So like I want to make sure I do good and I want to be in a career where I can do good. So I kind of shut that moment down in that moment for me, kind of like, I should kind of stick to kind of what I feel more comfortable with. And I think another like factor for me that really I credit too much is, at least the class, I ended up actually writing one of my personal insight questions on this. It
For your
was
college application essay.
yes. For the UC application, it was. I did notice like there was like a disproportion between girls in that class and boys in the class. So I kind of also felt discouraged because I was like, oh, do I also belong here? Like, it was just kind of like, it kind of felt like one of those moments where like, you're like, oh, maybe, like not necessarily giving into those societal like stereotypes, but it's just kind of like, you kind of get discouraged by them in a way.
Laura, well, I'd like to
go ahead.
chime in.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's just so much there.
There's a lot-
You've said so much, but I just want to really elevate and recognize, because I think this is a really important message, especially if there's students and even parents and even our staff listening out there, that you took, focusing on the high school component and the AP physics experience, that you took that first F on the test and you then got a C in the course. And instead of running away, it really sounds like you reflected, you pushed yourself beyond boundaries, and you leaned in and you took it as a really authentic growth and learning opportunity. And you were managing that tension of like, but I'm supposed to be successful. As a fellow first generation college student, I know that pressure that you're talking about. You're thinking, well, should I go to where it's easier so that I don't fail my family or the expectations? Because so many sacrifices that I'm sure your family has made for you to be educated here, right?
Yeah.
And instead of running away, you embraced that all. And while you were doing it, you reflected the entire time. And it sounds like that's what got you to where you are today. It wasn't like the easy A's and B's and being, a great student where you could just kind of do it with ease, but it was where it was hard that you stretched and you grew, and it got you a personal insight response and may have been the thing that got you to really believe in yourself, right? Because you transcended through something that was difficult, that you could be a first generation Latinx female in STEM. Is that right?
No, yeah, I think, again, that was like very, you put it into words perfectly. It kind of like, it kind of felt discouraging at first. It's just like, it's something that at least representation is important, I think. So it was just for me, I had not seen like my peers like kind of like indulge in that. So I was kind of like, well, I think it also really encouraged me like, no, I should be the first then. Like if I want to see more people like where I want to be, I can start by being one myself. So I think for me, I really took that as like, well, I took that winter break and I really reflected kind of like not only on my studying strategy, but kind of just like, how can I be more vulnerable, not knowing anything, and kind of like express that in a way where I can be proactive about like my gap in knowledge or just kind of like about my concerns. And I really do think like after that, I was able to kind of like, I felt more comfortable asking for help because I realized, well, yeah, like the first semester I wasn't too comfortable asking for help just because it felt like, like all those like pressure and all that stuff.
Intimidating too.
Yeah, like it feels intimidating, like taking a hard class and not like getting it right away. Like it feels intimidating. And luckily, like my teacher, he was like, he was really kind and everything. So I felt comfortable being like, hey, I don't really understand this. Like, what can I do to understand this better? So I think I really do attribute that. Like it helped me understand that it's okay to be vulnerable too, that I don't have to carry the burden alone. I think that for me was like a very important moment because it helped me realize that I'm not alone in this journey. And I think that also helped me be more receptive to help. Again, then kind of like with Avid.
Yeah, let's take it back to Avid because everything you're describing is so amazing, and I love the vulnerability. And I remember my first time getting a subpar grade, and it's hard. But Avid is such a great support, and you were in that program for 4 years. And so, talk to us a little bit about how Avid was supporting you and working through these challenges. And because where you are today is amazing, and we know Avid's a big part of it. So, how did that support you in that transformation?
Yeah, so I think for me, it was rather like a very intricate journey with me, just because before I really treated it as a class. So I wasn't really, like, obviously I was taking the advice, but I wasn't taking it with as much seriousness because I was like, well, I got this, like, I can do this, And I really do help them. I really do thank them because they really did help me understand some things even when I wasn't as receptive to help. But I think after that experience, it really helped me be receptive to help because I was actually then using the resources. I think I was kind of like, okay, well, I have to use the most out of these resources that I have available to me. And I can't just keep pretending that I'm okay and like not use them. So I think afterwards I was starting to really use them. And I think for me, again, one of the things that really helped me grow was we would do kind of like a GPA goal setting, like kind of like sheet. And I remember having it filled it out spring semester the previous year. So after physics, and no, before physics, sorry. And I remember having put that I was going to get an A in the class. So I think kind of looking back when I was kind of doing it again for the spring semester, I was kind of like, oh, I didn't get that A. So I kind of really then was like, okay, then how can I improve? So then I actually started reading through the entirety of like kind of like the whole assignment thing. Because at the first part, it would obviously be like, you know, like, oh yeah, like what are you gonna get? What are your goals to like? What are your steps to get there? Kind of. And I was like, well, I think some of the questions I'm gonna be asking more questions. I'm gonna do the homework with a little more intent now. And I think that really kind of like all those like assignments and everything regarding kind of like GPA setting or just goal setting, it really helped me because then I was also holding myself accountable. Mm-hmm. And I think for me that was also very important just because before there wasn't so much accountability just because I was always getting them. So it wasn't like I was appreciating also my efforts or really being like, oh yeah, like, you know, I got those grades and like now I should probably like use that and reflect what worked for me and what didn't work for me.
Laura, this is just such an incredible story. It's such a powerful transformation. And I love to hear that while you were going through this, you know, sort of rigorous struggle in a content area, right? That was a content area that you maybe had hopes for in terms of a future career. You used Avid as the space to really, you know, develop that determination, develop the skill set on how to recover and become self-aware and know that in the end you have agency, right? You have control over what you have control over. And it sounds like you took action. And that is just an incredible model for all of our students. You really turned a challenge into a catalyst for growth. So after considering diverse paths, you know, at UC Davis, I'm sure once you got there, you had so many options. You talked about your interest in architecture and business, chemistry, physics, the various sciences. Where did you land?
I ended up making a rather bold choice, kind of in like mixing all the classes I kind of refused to take out of fear. And then the one class I took that kind of challenged me or really just took me there. I ended up pursuing biochemical engineering. So it was
impressive.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like a very bold choice. And I admit it still is a bold choice. Like sometimes like I'm not the best at physics still. Like sometimes I will still struggle in physics. But I think Avid kind of like helping me kind of become familiar with resources, getting comfortable with the resources. Now I feel comfortable using those resources. So now I can go to the tutoring they offer, office hours and stuff like that. And I feel more comfortable being vulnerable. So I take advantage of those opportunities and those resources. So yeah, I ended up in biochemical engineering. And so far, it's been great. Like, I really like it. Like, it really has been a blend of everything I have liked and what I have yet to learn to like. Obviously, like, I think for me, it was learning to like physics. And luckily for me, I only have to take 3 classes of physics. So I'm not really in, like, taking too many. But I really have learned to like the classes that I think are the hardest. Like, I really have loved, OChem. I really have loved OChem.
It's organic chemistry?
Yes. And actually, when I was telling like some of my roommates, I was like, I'm loving OChem. And then they were like, yeah. Like,
they're like, we like that for you. Yeah.
And they're like, I can't say the same, but good for you. So I think it really is something, I think. And it also taught me like taking all these hard classes now. I think for me, the biggest piece of advice that I can give is truly like learning to be vulnerable, because I think life and engineering, they're always going to be like a perpetual learning journey. Like you're always going to be learning, and you're going to know less, and you're going to be always learning more. So you're never going to always have everything like right in front of you. And I think that for me was important because I think before I would think of it as a challenge, like, or just like a barrier. Like, I'm not going to understand this. I'm not going to know this. And now I kind of treat it like a reminder that, no, yeah, like I can do this. But it's not only just like a challenge to myself, like a academic, like a challenge. But it's also kind of like a reminder that it's like what I'm going to do is there's a lot of responsibility to it. Like, I have to be an ethical engineer. And also because it's, at least for me, I think, I can do quite a lot with my degree. So I also have to remind myself that it is also a reminder that I have the power to make change. And I think that is very kind of like powerful to myself, like kind of like using it because it's just kind of like, oh yeah, like I can make a change. Like I can make the world a better place, or I can use this to help other people make this world a better place. And I think that really to me is like very powerful, especially as a first gen, because it's like, I feel like I can kind of give back to my community, you know, kind of give back and be like, oh, you know, like you helped me before, or like you helped me learn to kind of accept help. So I think for me, that is kind of one of my biggest takeaways.
Incredible.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. It sounded like your feedback for first generation college students is to be vulnerable, lean into that difficulty. And I love that you did that and modeled that in your career.
Yeah, your growth mindset is incredible. And thank you so much for communicating this message that we can reframe challenges and transform them into opportunities for ongoing learning and growth. It's exceptional to hear your story.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Laura.
Yeah.
We look forward to sharing more insights with you in our next episode of the NVUSD Future in Focus podcast. Join us as we address your essential questions in Welcome to NVUSD, Your Enrollment Questions Answered, featuring our Director of Enrollment, Susan Miller. Don't miss out.
And until next time, keep thinking future ready.